What is Droid 4X? It looks like you're referring to Droid 4X, which was an Android emulator for PC. It allowed users to run Android apps and games on their computer. However, please note that Droid 4X has been discontinued, and there are newer alternatives available for Android emulation, such as BlueTAX, Nox Player, and LD Player. Droid 4X had several versions released during its active development. The last known version of Ayla Blay before it was discontinued was Droid 4X7. Unfortunately, Droid 4X, as an Android emulator, offered several features to users. Android app emulation. Droid 4X allowed users to run Android apps and games on their PC, giving them access to a wide range of Android software without needing a physical device. High performance. It aimed to provide good performance by utilizing virtualization technology, allowing apps and games to run smoothly on the PC. Full screen mode. Droid 4X supported full screen mode, making it easier for users to interact with Android apps and games on a larger display. Controller port. The emulator offered support for both keyboard and mouse inputs, as well as game controllers, providing a more immersive experience for gaming. GP emulation. Droid 4X allowed users to simulate GP locations, which was useful for location-based apps and games that required GP functionality. Multi-instance. Users could run multiple instances of Droid 4X simultaneously, enabling them to use different apps in separate windows. File sharing. The emulator included a file manager, making it possible to transfer files between the PC and the virtual Android environment. Screen recording. Droid 4X had a built-in screen recording feature, which was useful for creating tutorials or sharing gameplay videos. Customizable settings. Users could adjust various settings, including screen resolution, RAM allocation, and CPU usage, to optimize the emulator's performance based on their PC specifications. Droid 4X and other Android emulators serve various purposes. App testing and development. Developers can use emulators to test their Android apps and games on different virtual devices before re-releasing them to ensure compatibility and functionality. Gaming. Users can play Android games on their PC with better graphics and controls than on a mobile device. Running apps. Emulators provide a way to run Android apps on a PC, which can be useful when you need to access specific apps but don't have an Android device at hand. Productivity. OME users utilize emulators to run productivity apps, allowing them to use Android apps like note-taking tools, office suites, and communication apps on their PC. Educational and training purposes. Emulators can be used for educational purposes, such as learning how to use Android software or simulating certain scenarios. Social media. Some people use emulators to manage their social media accounts and messaging apps more conveniently while on a PC. Streaming and content creation. Content creators and streamers may use emulators to showcase Android apps or games during their broadcasts or tutorials. Accessibility. Emulators can help individuals with accessibility needs to interact with Android apps and services on a larger screen with customized controls. Location-based apps. Emulators can simulate different GP locations, which is useful for testing location-based apps and services. Limited mobile device resources. Users with older or less powerful mobile devices can use emulators to access apps that might be too resource-intensive for their actual device. Remember that while emulators offer many benefits, they might not perfectly replicate the experience of using a physical Android device. Additionally, ensure that you're using emulators for legitimate purposes and in compliance with app developers' terms of use.